Now then we'll start. Where were you born?
Spokane, Washington.
When?
1904, August 9th.
1904, August 9th. Okay. And how old are you now? 85, right?
85.
85, August 9th. Okay. Where were your folks living when you were born?
In Spokane, that's all I know.
You mentioned once about when you were older, you went to Cooper School, right?
Yeah. Later on, when they lived up near Minnehaha Park, we went to the Cooper School.
How old were you then?
6.
6. Well, where did they live when you were born? In Spokane?
Yes, but up towards Hilliard, I think. I'm not sure, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when they moved out towards Quincy after you were 6?
Well, no, after I was, when I was about 4, we moved up northwest of Ephrata, the old homestead.
Okay, now where was that? How far out of Ephrata?
About 15 miles northwest of Ephrata.
That isn't towards Soap Lake, is it?
No.
Okay. How big of a house did you have?
Up there,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
we
That's
had,
what you remember anyway. What was your first memory? What do you remember the very first of anything?
I remember being around Grandma Krognes and Uncle Wes and Chris Krognes and the big horse trough where we used to play in the water.
Now, was that at Ephrata?
That's at my uncle's place out northwest of Ephrata on their homestead.
Oh, good. Now, you were about 4 or 5 then, or what?
4.
4. And how long did you stay down there?
Well, we lived there till I was on the 8th grade.
Which is...
Then we moved to Quincy.
Okay, were you still going to school at Quincy then? Did you graduate?
I started high school in Quincy.
And you graduated?
I went 3 years in Quincy and went to Ephrata and graduated from Ephrata High School.
Do you remember what year you graduated?
1920. 1922, I think it is.
1922 you graduated.
Well, let me see if I got this straight. You lived, you were born in Spokane when your parents lived in Hilliard, you thought?
They lived up in that direction somewhere.
And then you moved to the Minnehaha area.
No, that's the same place.
Oh, that's the same place.
But then we lived up in the hills until I was about 6. Then we moved back down moved to Spokane again. And they had a place right close to Minnehaha Park.
Well, what do you mean you lived in the hills?
Northwest of Ephrata on the homestead.
Oh, I see.
And then we lived there, and I went and started school at the Cooper School. And I went there 3 years. Then we moved over somewhere else, and I went to the Sheridan School for another year.
Whereabouts was that at? Any idea?
That's on the south side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved from there to Vera. Now it's Veradale. We called it Vera then.
Out in the valley, right?
Uh-huh. And I picked strawberries and
How old were you then
about 7. We picked and we picked.
And picked.
And picked raspberries, and I don't care that much for raspberries anymore either.
Hey, I'm going to back up a little bit now. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 5 brothers and 2 sisters.
Well, how old? Age-wise, how were they to you?
Well,
I know they stayed the same age as you got older.
I know, but
Who was the oldest? Start that way.
well, Benny was the oldest, but he was drowned in the Spokane River
At what age?
at the age of 13. And right after he was drowned, I went up to Ephrata. They put me on the train, sent me to Ephrata to stay with Grandma Krognes.
Why?
Well, he was supposed to go there, but he got drowned, so he couldn't, so somebody had to. So somebody had to go and stay with her. And then, when I was there's a woman that lived down Moses Coulee, just below what they call the First Devil. And she wanted me to come and stay with her, and I wanted to go outside, and she wouldn't let me go outside. And I wanted to go gather eggs, she wouldn't let me do that, because there's so many rattlesnakes.
Now, that
around.
was Grandma Crogness or someone else?
No, it's a woman that lived below,
Oh, okay.
a friend of the family.
Yeah.
And there's so many rattlesnakes there. She killed 56 rattlesnakes in her chicken house. So she wouldn't let me go gather eggs.
Oh, be there. Now, you were what, 7 or 8 then? I think you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I stayed there with her that summer, and she taught me to embroider. And then I went home and went to school. We walked 2.5 miles to school, so we went to the Bunker Hill School. Then 2.5 miles home again.
Now, this is out of Ephrata.
Yeah, 15 miles northwest of Ephrata.
Yeah, right.
And we could look from our place right down over the hill and see Moses Coulee.
Hmm.
We could see the train going down there.
No, be there. Well, you know, I wanted to get back to how many brothers and sisters you had again?
I had 5 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay, now, who was the oldest? Benny was the oldest, and he died.
And, yeah, and Cliff was next.
Mm-hmm.
He's 4 years older than I am. And then Bessie was next. She's 2.5 years older than me. And there was me. And then it was Bill. He's 2 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was Stanley. He was a couple of years younger than Bill. Then there was Auntie, Catherine, or whatever you want to call her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was 2 years younger than Stanley. And then there was Auntie.
No, you just got her.
Oh, yeah. And then there was Swen,
Okay. So
or
was the
Ben,
other.
or whatever they want to call him now.
Yeah. Okay. Out of all the brothers and sisters, there's 3 that passed away, am I right? Benny, Swen, and Uncle Bill, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the 3 that passed away, the rest are still alive.
yeah.
Okay. Let's get back now to Ephrata. After you stayed with Grandma Crogness, then I imagine you went back to school then.
Well, we went to Bunker Hill School. There was 2.5 miles to walk to a school and 2.5 miles home again.
Mm-hmm.
Except in the wintertime, Wes and Chris, they take their sleigh, and
Wes and Chris who?
Crogness, my
Oh,
uncles,
okay.
and they hauled us to school and then come and got us again.
How cold was it? Like
It was cold,
too cold.
too cold to be comfortable. We dressed warm.
Yeah. What was Grandma Crogness's house like?
Well, she had a little kitchen and living room and bedroom is all one.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another little room kind of, they had another bed in,
Mm-hmm.
cot. That was it.
And that was it, huh?
Mhm.
Well, you say Grandma Crogness. When did Grandpa Crogness die?
I don't remember.
Before you were born, or?
No, after, but I don't remember him.
Yeah.
All I remember is Wes and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Did they speak Norwegian, or did
Yeah,
all of the time, or
No.
just some of the time?
Grandma Joyce and Grandma Brogness couldn't speak English at all.
Where did they come from?
Norway.
How did they come from Norway to here, and when?
Well, they came over on the ship from Norway to Minnesota.
How old were they then?
Well, I don't know.
You weren't there.
No, my mother wasn't too old either.
Okay, that, I suppose, In other words, they could